Okay, Jamie, so I'm calling on you for item number 2. Thank you very much. I show 158 on my devices here. Couple minutes. Well, good afternoon, everyone. It is 2 o'clock. Deputy Mayor Tom Hutchinson, the Chair of the Committee of Adjustments meeting. Under item number 1, I'd like to call the meeting to order, and it is 2 o'clock. This is the November the 7th, 2023 Committee of Adjustment meeting, and we do have quorum. I see members in the chamber, and I also see 2 of us that are signed in virtually. For this meeting, we're using both audio and video. This meeting is being recorded and will be posted on the West Grey website at www.westgrey.com. Technology for this meeting is being managed by the West Grey staff. Please refrain from clicking buttons throughout the meeting unless prompted. And before I continue, I'm asking Communications Coordinator Ms. Ferguson to provide an overview on some of the other key points for this meeting. Ms. Ferguson, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Chair Hutchinson. Before I begin, if you get disconnected, you can dial 1-647-558-0588 and enter meeting ID 871-5038-0700. It should be noted for members of the public that this meeting is being held in 2 locations, on Zoom as well as being live streamed on YouTube. Both members of staff and council have been briefed on the various features of the Zoom meeting software. Members of council and staff will be raising their hands to speak. For members of the public, if you require any technical assistance at any point during this meeting, you can send a chat message to me, Sheila Ferguson, Communications Coordinator, and I will attempt to assist you.
Thank you, Ms. Ferguson. Item number 2 is the purpose of this meeting. Clerk Eckenswater, could you please provide your comments?
Thank you, Chair Hutchinson. The purpose of this meeting today is to allow the presentation of a minor variance application and a consent to sever application, and to allow interested members of the public the opportunity to ask questions or offer comments regarding the applications. A public registry for the applications is available by email at sferguson@westgrey.com. And if any member of the public would like to be notified in writing of the decision on one of the applications, they are to provide their name and mailing address by email or via the meeting chat function for the corresponding registry. This will entitle anyone to be advised of a possible Ontario Land Tribunal hearing in the event the decision on the application is appealed.
Thank you, Clerk Eckenswater. Item number 3 on today's agenda is the disclosure of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof. If any of the members have anything to declare, you can do it at this time. Or if one should arise during the meeting, of course, you can declare at that time. So you just raise your hand if you have anything, and I do not see any hands raised virtually or in the chamber. So I will move on to item number 4. That's the approval of the minutes. We're looking at the approval of the minutes from the October 3rd, 2023 Committee of Adjustments. The recommendation would be the Committee of Adjustments hereby approves the minutes October 3rd as presented. Could I get a mover, please? And I do see Member Forrester's hand up as a mover. And could I get a seconder, please? No?
Second.
I'm sorry, yeah, go ahead and just speak out, please. Is that Member Eccles? Member Eccles, you'll second that. Thank you, sir. Comments or questions from the committee? Seeing none, and if you do see one, folks, I can't see everyone. I can a little bit, but just please feel free to speak out today. So we will call the vote on this. So all those members that are in favor, you just raise your hands, please. I see all members are in favor. There's none opposed, so that motion will carry. Item number 5 is minor variance application A10 2023-034344, Fifth Side Road, NDR. 5.1 is the report from the planning staff. So I'm going to ask Planner Hall to please read your report on minor variance A10 2023. If you include any written or verbal comments you have received up to today's meeting that we haven't been able to read. Planner Hall, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This application is actually the result of 2 severance applications that were dealt with the committee earlier this year. And as a result of that application, where they were severing off 2 lots that were just over 0.81 hectares in area, they needed to apply to the committee to recognize the lot frontage in the lot area. So that's what the variance is for today. Obviously, the severances did receive conditional approval from the committee several months ago. As a result of this, is the opinion of staff that it does meet the 4 tests under the Planning Act. We feel that the area does meet the official plan amendment that is not exceeding the 3 severances that are permitted off the 100 acres. It is minor in nature in regards to the zoning bylaw and meets the intent and purpose of that, where we're now recognizing those reductions in lot area and lot frontage. And that it does meet the Grey County official plan policies as well, and that we feel that it's appropriate and desirable use and for residential lots. So we do support the application.
Thank you very much, Planner Hall. That takes us to item number 5.2, and there's 2 sections. This 5.2.1 would be the committee members. When we're completed with that, we will turn the application to the public for any comments they may have. So, committee members, this is your opportunity to ask any questions, provide any comments you may have on this application before I turn to the public. Does anyone have any comments or questions on this one? If you just raise your hand. And I do not see any hands raised. And if I've missed you, please feel free to reach out today. Just you press the button and go live. Okay, seeing none. I am going to move on then to item 5.2.2. This is public comments. So I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Ferguson to please provide an overview on how members of the public can speak to this application and just explain the process that we would have in place for that. Ms. Ferguson, go ahead, please.
Through you, Chair Hutchinson. For members of the public waiting to participate in this portion of the meeting, you may do so in one of 2 ways. The first being, if you have joined us via phone line, you can press *9 to raise your hand, and that will let us know that you would like to speak. If you have joined us using the Zoom meeting software, you can also raise your hand, usually located in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen with a blue or yellow hand icon. And at this time, Chair, I am seeing a member of the public wishing to speak.
And so I see that the last 3 digits are 829. Can you verify that, please?
Yes, it's Ron Davidson. I am the applicant. Can you hear me okay?
Sir, welcome, Mr. Davidson. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, very straightforward application. Last month, your committee conditionally approved the consent applications, and one of the conditions was that this minor variance be approved. So here we are today. I have nothing further to add. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Davidson. Any comments or questions to Mr. Davidson from members of the committee while we have him on the line? Again, feel free to speak out, folks. Seeing none, thank you, Mr. Davidson. I'm going to go back to Ms. Ferguson. Do you have any other members of the public that would like to speak?
I'm not seeing any other members of the public wishing to speak.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Davidson, your hand's still up. Are you finished or you have another comment, sir?
I am finished. I just don't know how to put my hand down.
Okay, well, but that's fine staying up there. It's gone now. All right. So that completes that one there. So we're at item 5.3, and that's the decision by the committee. What direction would the committee like to take with this application? And everybody understands the recommendation as it was read. So I'll be looking for a mover to move the recommendation.
So moved, Member Eccles.
Okay, so I have, thank you, Member Eccles, and I did see Member Shea. Would you second that, sir? You're on mute there, Mr. Shea. I'll take your hand as raised as a seconder. Thank you, Member Shea. Okay, so is everyone clear on the recommendation? We'll call the vote. All those in favor, if you could just raise your hand, please. I see all members are in favor. If there's none opposed, that motion is carried. So that takes us to item 5.4, next steps, and I'm going to ask Ms. Planner to explain the next steps. Ms. Hall, please.
The next steps would be is that there would be a notice that would need to be sent out to people within 60 meters of the property, advising that there was a decision made, and if they wish to appeal it, they would have to have a reason to appeal it, obviously, to take it to the tribunal. If there is no appeals, then the matter would come into force and effect within the timeline under the Planning Act, which is 20 days after the notice is sent.
Thank you, Planner Hall. Okay. So that takes us to item number 6 on today's agenda, and that's consent to sever application B19 2023 463/465 Countess Street South. And I'm going to go to 6.1, and that will be report from planning staff. I'm going to ask Planner Hall to please read the report, and if you could just include any written or verbal comments you've received up to today. Planner Hall, go ahead, please.
Thank you. This particular property has been before the committee previously in regards to a rezoning and a severance. And as a result of that rezoning and severance, it allowed the lot to have a semi-detached dwelling constructed on the property. The matter before you today is the severance to actually subdivide that semi-detached into 2 lots so that they can be conveyed, obviously, to the buyers of the property. In our review of the official plan, the County Gray official plan, Gray West official plan, and the zoning bylaw, we felt that everything within the provincial plan, it does promote new residential development within settlement areas, which is what this application would be doing. Gray County basically indicated it was in the primary settlement area, and that promotes residential development as well. Your official plan in West Gray does the same thing. Also speaks to affordable and desirable dwellings. And the matter before you today is just to modify the lot frontage down to 8.59 meters. Planning staff do support. We did not receive any negative comments from anybody in regards to this application, so we are supporting the minor variance being asked for.
Thank you, Planner Hall. So that'll move us to 6.2, verbal comments. Again, there's 2 parts to this. First part is for committee members to raise any comments or questions they may have. And once we've completed that, we will go to the members of the public. So under 6.2.1, committee members, this is your opportunity to ask any questions, write any comments that you may have before regarding this application. So if you just raise your hand, if I do not see it, please feel free to just speak out today. So committee members, any comments or questions? Okay, seeing none, I will move on then to 6.2.2, public comments. I'm going to ask Ms. Ferguson, please provide an overview on how members of the public can participate in this portion of the meeting. And if you could just explain the process of that virtually or live, and I will go to Ms. Ferguson. Go ahead, please.
For members of the public waiting to participate in this portion of the meeting, you may do so in one of two ways. The first being, if you have joined us via phone line, you can press *9 to raise your hand, and that will let us know that you would like to speak. If you have joined us using the Zoom meeting software, you can also raise your hand, usually located in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen with a blue or yellow hand icon. And at this time, Chair Hutchinson, I'm not seeing anyone online or in council chambers wishing to speak.
Thank you, Ms. Ferguson. Can you just give that a 10-second delay? I too don't see any hands virtually. You are in the chamber, so I will move on then to 6.3. And that's decision by the committee. So what direction would the committee like to take with this application? So if you look at his hand or you can speak out, please go ahead.
Member Hutchison, I'd like to move that we accept the provisional consent based on the conditions as outlined by the planner.
Thank you, Member Hutchinson. I'd be looking for a seconder, please.
Member Townsend, I'll second that.
Thank you, Member Townsend. Is everyone clear on the recommendation before us? Have any comments or questions? Seeing none, hearing none, I'm going to call the question. All those in vote, or all those in favor, you can just raise your hand, please. I see all members are in favor. There's none opposed. This motion has also carried. And that'll take us to 6.4. Planner Hall, could you please explain the next steps?
Next steps would be that the decision would have to be sent out to all the agencies and anyone who had asked for the decision to be mailed out. There is an appeal period associated with that decision being mailed out. If you do receive any appeals, then the town would actually have to refer that matter to the tribunal. If there is no appeals made, then the consent would come into force. In fact, conditions would have to be fulfilled before they actually would receive the severance. Thank you.
Thank you, Planner Hall. As you can see that the reports are very detailed, and that certainly makes the Committee of Adjustments work a lot easier when we have detailed reports before us. So I just want to thank staff for obviously producing such wholesome reports. That does take us to item number 7. And I want Clerk Eccleswater, if you could please confirm, I did go on our website and I checked the next meeting's December the 5th at 2 p.m. But if you could just please verify that, because it's not posted on today's agenda.
Through you, Chair, yes, it is December 5th at 2 p.m.
Okay, thank you for that confirmation. Well, look at that. We're on item number 8, and that is adjournment. And I will declare that all today's business on today's agenda is complete. And I will say we stand adjourned at 2:15. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a wonderful afternoon.